Hey everybody, Courtney here with Smitty's Fly Box. I just wanted to show you guys this quick little easy tie for a jigged Simi Seal Leech. Pretty quick and simple. Basically it's just a Simi Seal Leech with a tungsten bead here to help it get down really quick. Good for still water or on the river applications, I think. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. So I've got a size 10 Mustad 90-degree jig hook here in the vise and a fluorescent pink slotted tungsten bead. It's a 4mm slotted tungsten bead. I'm just going to start my thread right behind the bead here, and I'm just going to build up a little bit of a thread dam right behind it. Just help that bead to keep it from slipping. I'm going to take my thread back to our tie-in point, where we're going to tie in our tail, which is going to be Simi Seal. So I've got a couple different colors that I like to tie with, but this is one of my favorites here is this black and purple. I call it blackberry, but John Romer, Arizona Simi Seal black and purple Simi Seal dub. So I'm just going to stack a couple of these fibers together, a little clump of it to make our tail. So when I do that, I'm just taking this and kind of pulling it apart and stacking it nice and even. And then I kind of twist it together to get us a nice little tail formed. And then I'll stack that right on top of my hook shank. Just do a loose gathering wrap up and over. Grab that with the thread. Make sure that's nice and secure. And fold back the excess coming up the front. And then we'll tie that down with some good thread wraps there. So there's our tail. You might lose a bit, but that's okay. I just kind of pull out whatever's loose and didn't get tied down. And then we're ready for to dub the body. So one thing that I like about the Simi Seal Leech, especially for beginner fly tiers, is it kind of helps you with dubbing control. A lot of times when we teach classes, the biggest thing I see when we're working with dubbing is we always end up using too much as a beginner, and then we end up with big bulky bodies, or it doesn't dub onto the thread really well. So with the Arizona Simi Seal, it's a little bit more of a coarse dubbing, and so you don't want to grab a lot to begin with. I like to just take a little pinch in my finger. I'm going to press that right against the thread and roll that on. And just get a nice little dubbing noodle tightly wound onto your thread. And then I'm just going to start building this body. So I'm just going to just take my time, just work my way up here and just try to build just a nice even body. I have to add a little bit more as we go, and that's totally fine. That's what I want. I don't want to try to do it all in one swoop here. I just want to just kind of build it as I go. It's always easier to add more than it is to sit there and take it off and pick it off your thread. And I just want to build a nice consistent body up through here. We're going to brush all this out once we get up behind the bead. When we get up here behind the bead, I'll make a few turns. Now I'm not going to whip finish yet because I know I'm going to end up having a dead spot right here behind the bead. So I'm going to brush this out. Just take a Velcro brush, whatever you have that you use to pick dubbing out. I like to pick this out really well, get it really buggy and brushy so that really moves in the water. We have a nice good looking profile there. So now you can see I've kind of created a dead spot there where I brushed everything out, and I want to fill that dead spot in with more dubbing. So I'm just going to add a little bit more here to right behind the bead. That way I know I have a good consistency of dubbing all the way through. And I'm just going to brush this out one more time before I whip finish. I like to do that for two reasons. One, to see if there's any more room I can put more dubbing in, and so I don't snag my thread and end up making it fray and I'm coming undone. Okay, now I'm ready to whip finish there. I got that dubbing all the way up behind the bead. And that's it. That's all it is there. So pretty quick tie, pretty easy to fill a box full of these. I like to use these during the spring, especially during ice off on lakes. And then as the rivers start to get a little bit higher, that hot bead, that little hot spot there kind of stands out in a good contrast for fish to try.